Hi, my name is Richard Dewey, and this is the Moon Realm. What you're looking at here is a crossover. This happens when two moons nearly touch, but then pull away at the last moment so they don't smash into each other. The moon on the left is Taw, and the moon on the right is Dikdek. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What I really want to talk about is illustration. Specifically, how to go about transferring the images in your mind to that of the illustrators so that when you get your finished product, you've got what you want. I like to start by creating a master document containing chapter-by-chapter suggestions for what I think would be a good illustration. In the end, though, these are really just jumping off points for the illustrator, who, in this case, is Carolyn Arcabasio. It's easier than it sounds. Most chapters really only have one or two important scenes that represent the chapter as a whole. The job of you and your illustrator is to find that moment. One obvious place to start in the Moon Coin is right in the first sentence, when Uncle Eb is opening the door to the children's room and standing in the doorway. So that was one idea. The first thing I get from Carolyn would be a napkin sketch, like this one here. If you look in the upper right corner, it says Option 2. That's because I order my suggestions by priority. But often, the options are so close that it doesn't really matter which one my illustrator picks. Remember, the goal is to find an idea that speaks to the illustrator while satisfying the needs of the story. Another idea was this scene where Lily and Jasper had thrown the figurines of Queen Ferrothil and Morgoroth the dragon into the air so they could fly around above their heads. So here we are, looking down through the figurines, and below are Uncle Eb and the children looking up. It's a great idea and concept, but as you can see, once you really get down to it, it just gets a little too busy. This is a perfect example of where something seems like a really cool idea until you try and execute it, and you find out it's just too difficult to do in a single image. It would make a great live one, like in a movie, but that's not what we're trying to do here. What we eventually went with was the Pinky Promise. This satisfied all our needs. Here we have Eb offering his pinky to Lily, and Jasper, stuck in the middle, is trying to decide whether or not he wants to enter into their secret pact to never talk about Eb's bedtime tales, especially with their parents. Once we had settled on this option, Carolyn brought it into full color. Some people work with an intermediary color stage, but that wasn't really necessary here because Carolyn's color palettes are absolutely amazing. The first thing you'll notice in the finished illustration is all the added detail. We've got Eb kneeling in his coat of many pockets, and the children wearing their adorable moonprint pajamas. The bed has become a four-poster topped with horse figurines. This is a subtle foreshadowing of Lily's horse riding skills. Patterns have been added to the background, and shadows are now present, giving the illustration a greater depth of field. Well, that's it for my video of what it's like to work with an illustrator. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll answer them as best as I can, as soon as I can. I plan to do a couple more of these if people like them. Until next time, happy reading.